Hello, it's me, your boy Jared Gunza, and today we're covering a movie that I hold dear to my heart, honestly. I'm talking about the movie that came out in 2013 from Zack Snyder, starring Henry Cavill, Man of Steel. I remember seeing this movie on opening day like the back of my hand. A little bit of story time, so bear with me. I remember on June 12th, which was a Thursday night, the night before Man of Steel came out in theaters on the 13th. I begged my grandfather, can I go to work with him? Because he worked across the street from Tulsa's AMC South Roads 20. And I wanted to go to work with him so I can go to the movie theaters and begged him for $20 to go see his movie. $20 back then could get me a matinee movie ticket, a soda, and a snack. June 13th came, the day of release. And I remember he was taking me to his job with him. And in the car, we heard the radio show talking about Man of Steel, and the people on the radio were bashing it, talking about how gritty it is, how darker tone it is, because people die in it. And my grandfather was like saying, "You sure you want to see this, son?" And I said, "Yes, I still want to see it. I don't care what these people say." I was a big fan of Zack Snyder's Watchmen, so I was excited to see Man of Steel. And I got to the theaters at 11 a.m. to see Man of Steel, and they gave me the exclusive Man of Steel 3D glasses. I loved it so much. And I'm watching the movie, and the movie fucked up. The 3D was all messed up and whatnot, and about 20 minutes into it, the theater stopped the movie and just said that, "Hey, we're sorry. You got to get a refund or go to the next showing of this movie in 3D. I got a refund because I told them that they said I can get a refund. And then I also came back acting like, "Hey, where's the next movie they said I can go to?" So I wasn't supposed to get a refund and see the movie in a different showing, but I got both. So it was an amazing day. I saw a kick-ass movie, a kick-ass Superman movie for the price of nothing. And not only that, I got a refund. And not only that, I got a free vouchers ticket as well. It was truly an amazing day. 13-year-old Jared Gunza was beyond himself. Let's get into the movie Man of Steel. So Man of Steel came out in 2013, like I said, and at the time it was criticized for being a much darker tone Superman, and a lot of people didn't really like that. I actually like most of the dark and gritty takes for the movie. I often tell people, when I watch Man of Steel, I don't think Superman is dark and gritty. I think the world he's living in is dark and gritty, and he's trying to be different from that. It's not him you should be looking at. It's the way how he's treated by people, the way how he's treated by mankind, and even the way how he's treated by his own people as well. I was kind of on the edgy side of like, oh yeah, I want things to feel gritty. I want things to feel edgy, bro. I've grown up since then, but nonetheless, this movie still hits in the same way that it did back then. There are some flaws as I got older where I was like, the thing I really like about this Superman, Henry Cavill Superman, is that they also established very early on that he's a blue-collared man, which will make sense seeing how he was raised in Kansas. And I've been living in Kansas for about 3.5 years now, and I can tell you what, I haven't met one son of a bitch like him. Michael Shannon as General Zod is one of those casting roles where you just feel like he was born for it. The thing about Zod is that, rewatching it recently, I understand a lot more of why he did what he did, at least in the beginning part. This is a character who he was given the sole purpose to protect his people and ensure their survival. And then you have these idiots, these politics, who are telling him, "No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go off-world. We're not leaving. Let's just try to drain out some type of energy from our planet that we can." And it's just like, I understand why he's crashing out, at least in the beginning. That does not mean that his crashing out tactics are the right choice. It doesn't mean that they're the moral choice, because they're not at all. When you've been refused to save your people from these politics, and now because of their recklessness, their greediness, your people are dead. Your race is on the brink of extinction, if not already there. And another thing I have to compliment is that Hans Zimmer's score in here is possibly some of his best work. I would damn near say that it probably is his top best, had it not been for the fact that he did the Dune movies. Zack Snyder That man knows how to film fight scenes. If you don't believe me, go watch Watchmen. It does feel like it's actual gods fighting. Now, I'm going to get to the negatives in the movie because at the time, I didn't really think about the negatives too much. I was 13. But as I've grown older, and even before the Superman movie came out, I did feel as if growing up, I realized, there is some flaws in this movie. The dialogue is kind of lackey. There's some points in the movie where it does feel like as if we're being left out in certain key points. Also, there is quite a bit of scenes in here that just the CGI is it's lacking badly. I know a lot of people recently. I've seen a lot of people compare the Superman movie for certain shots, saying the CGI looks terrible. But have we forgotten how PS3 CGI that last battle sequence was in this movie? It's fun as hell. Don't get me wrong. Even though there's like a lack of like civilian surroundings from both General Zod and Superman's part. But it's never to the point where it takes you out of the movie and the fight sequence in itself. So you also gotta take some points away for how they kill Papa Kent, because I understand why Papa Kent told Clark not to come save him. I understand that. But it's so stupid. It's so silly. It's just like we couldn't figure out a better way to make his sacrifice more impactful, to where Clark was forced to not use his powers. Because it's just like any normal given person, and I don't know if they're trying to say, well, that's where Clark is different, but whatever, would have saved their father. They would have at least moved fast enough to save their father. Like, there is no way that I'm just going to watch a tornado slowly take my father away just because these people can't handle that I can save people. I hate that scene so much. Even as a kid, I hated that scene. But nonetheless, Superman 2013, it remains to be one of my top favorite Superman films, if not one of my top favorite superhero films. Growing up as a kid, I knew I loved movies a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I would talk about them quite deeply with people. And I looked at this movie and thought to myself, it is a beautiful thing to be able to capture something on a camera while telling a story while doing it. And that's how I felt about this movie. I felt that way at the exact moment when Russell Crowe's character, who plays Jor-El, is talking to Clark and telling him what he can be to this planet. And the moment where Superman backs out and he just floats into space before he goes to save Lois. That scene sparked the drive in me to want to be a filmmaker. And that's why I said I talk about movies so religiously. That's why I defend the whole theater experience. That's why I'm against the whole AI idea, using AI in movies. And it just, this movie will always hold a special place in my heart, regardless of how much people will bash it, regardless of how toxic the Snyder's fan base can be. I'm not part of them. This movie will hold a special place in my heart for a lot of reasons that cannot just be explained or put into words for me. Man of Steel, I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I think if they had just put a little more care into Superman saving more people and not just letting shit blow up all over him, this movie probably would have been received a little bit better, but who knows. Anywho, it's been your boy Jared Gunza. Y'all take care. Have a good night.